Hey MVPs, RicoKnows here. Going to talk to you guys about a futures bet. You guys know the deal. I've been doing futures bets for every single team in the Power 4. I do one every 1 or 2 days. I post it on the Patreon, and they're always going to cost money. It's just the way it's going to be because people can jump on these bets early and never, ever, ever have to worry about a thing. I've already covered all these teams here and a couple more select ones. If you haven't seen them, go find them on the playlist. If you go to Patreon, you can find the playlist for futures bets, and you'll see every single team breakdown. Here we go. So I got to stall for the first 30 seconds of every video, just so you guys are aware, because there's going to be a preview, and I don't want anyone to see what I'm picking. So the first thing here is when you go see NC State, you see it. The over-under is 8.5 wins. Reminder, that is only regular season wins. Doesn't include the conference championship or the bowl game. So is NC State going to win 8 games or 9 games? That's the question. So when I go look at NC State, how did they do this past year? Well, when you look at them this past year, they went ahead and they won every single game that matters. They won every game they were supposed to win, and they lost every game we expected them to. But you count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 regular season wins, and then they lost their bowl game. But 9 regular season wins, and let's just say they had terrible quarterback play. They were not very good in a lot of parts of their team, and they still won 9 games. This is a very good football team, and I think they got better this offseason, just so we're clear. So when you go look at the chart, I'm pulling it into the screen now. You look at it, here's all the over-under bets for all the other teams. You guys see it here. The over bet here is 8.5. Over is paying you 102 money. I believe this is a value bet, right? Because we're in the positive for money. And I believe it's a 1-unit bet you have to make. I would get on it now. I think they're going to win 9 games in the regular season. We'll get to that at the end of the video, but just believe what I'm saying. I believe in the over. Let's go. Let's talk about why I believe in the over. So first thing is their transfer portal class. Do I want to go down each individual transfer? I can. So transfers coming in, getting Cam Riley over from Auburn. That's going to help their linebacker core. They are losing Peyton Wilson. Shout out to him. They'll be fine. Their secondary is loaded, but they run a 3-3-5 defense. So they're going to need as many secondary members as possible. They're getting one, obviously, from Auburn. Again, this is the pipeline you're looking for. That's cool. Shout out to them. Hollywood Smothers will be a backup running back. Their running back room was highly disappointing last year. Very terrible. And then everybody jumped in the portal and left. Shout out to Dilbert Mims going to ECU. I believe I'll remember the names when I see them in a future slide. So I'll get you all the running backs that left, but they all left. Marcus Allen, I believe, and I'm forgetting one more. But they'll actually be here on the next transfer list, so we'll know. I don't have to memorize it. Devon Marshall coming over from Villanova. Once again, secondary members, they have a good secondary, but they rotate in some players. Noah Rogers, wide receiver, coming over from Ohio State. Didn't play at Ohio State, but what true freshman can play at Ohio State? I don't know of any true freshman that can play at Ohio State. That doesn't really move me. I'm excited to see Noah Rogers in the wide receiver core. He probably saw what Concepcion did last year. I'll talk about it later, but that's impressive, right? At the same time, I wanted to go back and rehash on Hollywood Smothers. Leaving Oklahoma after not playing in 1 year, he didn't play there. This is a red flag to me. You're coming back home just to be closer to home. That's fine. But if you were going to go to Oklahoma in the first place, what did you think was going to happen? You thought you were going to play at Oklahoma as a true freshman? That just doesn't make sense. The decision-making here is problematic. I don't understand kids' infatuation with leaving their home state to go make it at a big university in your first year, only to transfer back home and sit the bench, because you're not going to start. I want to make this very clear. Hollywood Smothers, you're not starting, transferring back to NC State. No, the starter's right here. His name is Jordan Waters, and he's been the starting running back at Duke for a while. This man has played a lot of football. Jordan Waters is a good running back, one of the best running backs in the ACC next year. I like Jordan Waters transferring in from Duke. That's a baller. We got another safety coming in from Maryland. Cooley coming in from Cooley, 2 different guys, but they're both from Maryland in the secondary. Once again, shoring up a secondary, and it didn't need any shoring up. They have 3 studs in that secondary, and they're just getting more depth. They know the deal. Justin Jolly, probably the best tight end in the transfer portal, coming over from UConn. What a complete animal. He's the reason the Twins just jumped in the portal. I'll show you on the next page, but shout out to him. The Sun Belt Player of the Year for 3 years in a row, Grayson McCall, former Coastal Carolina quarterback. I don't think Grayson McCall is NFL caliber. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's benefited from amazing coaches. But the quarterback play at NC State is so bad. MJ Morris just left. Right? Good riddance. Fine. Roll out, bro. I believed in you, by the way. And obviously, you were starting a kid named Armstrong that was more of a running quarterback who couldn't complete passes. More power to you. But Grayson McCall, probably one of the more exciting signings for them. He is not the best player they've signed. No, not by a long shot. The best player they signed in the transfer portal is Zeke Corral down here. Zeke Corral has been a starter at center for Notre Dame for 2 years now. So you now have a new center who's actually an absolute beast. Love everything about him. So shout out to him. Wesley Grimes coming over from Wake. Doesn't really move the meter too much. But their best transfers are Jordan Waters and your boy Zeke Corral. But they found themselves at least 5 starters. 5 starters in the transfer portal. That's very good for a 9-win team. And you know what they lost? Not a whole lot. Like I said, losing Nate Evans, not a big deal. You see him going down to Delaware. That tells you the caliber of player he was. Dilbert Mims is a quality goal line back. He did have about 8 or 9 touchdowns. But going to ECU to get more playing time, more power to him, and he'll be closer to home. He's from Indiana. Cecil Powell doesn't move the meter for me. Congratulations to Troy. Lennon Cooper going to Pitt. Congratulations. Not moved by any of these. The running backs weren't very good. I don't think Michael Allen is going to even start at UNLV. He's transferring to UNLV, and I don't think he'll be in the rotation all that much. UNLV's got really good running backs. Maybe he proves me wrong. Rest of the guys, not really in the too deep. C.J. Clark was. Shout out to Miami. You got yourselves a decent player. M.J. Morris going up to Maryland. Okay. Congratulations. Rooks doesn't move me all that much. Torian Wright, TJ Wright, this is a good linebacker. Going to Temple, probably his caliber. Go do your thing, man. I liked his tape is when I say he's a good linebacker. I liked his tape. Terrell Timmons going to Colorado. I don't think he's really that great at Colorado, but I hope he plays well. Then this is what I was talking about. The Twins are jumping in the portal, and they should. Jolly just showed up. But you got Sebra from Swainsboro. Shout out to Georgia. I know Swainsboro well. I live in Augusta. It's down the street. I know. I was thinking Statesboro. I apologize. Swainsboro, good team. These guys were playing great. Sed and Frederick, they were playing great in high school. I don't know why you would go to the same school playing the same position. I'm being clear. I'm just being real. You're both tight ends. You go to NC State. What did you think was going to happen? You thought you were both going to start? They're not running 2 tight end sets. It's not going to go like that, bro. It's not going down like that. Shout out to Jordan Houston. I know he already found his new school. I have it on my database. I won't even talk about it. Doesn't matter. Point is, they didn't lose much in production. I think they got better in the transfer portal. I think it'll improve, and we're going to go from there. Now, I talked about it mostly. Here's the 2 deep here. I'm going to show you guys something. Okay, 2 deep. Dakari Collins, good wide receiver, good player. Shout out to him transferring in. I believe he came in from Clemson. I'll double check that. I don't like to ever be wrong. Yeah, Clemson wide receiver. 6'4", 212. You can't cover Dakari Collins. Noah Rogers, like I said, didn't play, but no big deal. It's nothing to be ashamed of that you couldn't play at Ohio State. Kevin Concepcion, the best true freshman wide receiver last year in the country as far as production goes. He was everywhere. They even let him play running back. Dude's a stud. Despite all the quarterback issues, he still found ways to make plays. You could bet on his over yards. I liked him. Justin Jolly now, look at that. They have wide receiver X, Y, Z, H. Justin Jolly's a tight end, wide receiver, whatever you want to call him. Offensive line's going to be straight. Don't worry about it. They're pretty good. They're senior-led. When you see GR, that's graduate. That means that he's a super senior, okay? They're already past senior. It's no surprise here. When you look at running backs, Jordan Waters will be the starter. McCall will be the starter. No big deal there. Defense, bro. Defense. Davin Vann. Complete monster. Vann is a monster, and so is Hibbler. Red Hibbler and Vann, it says they're the same position. I don't care. Monsters. Great players, okay? Looking at their secondary. Boykin, Brown, White. Great players. They pop on tape, bro. Turn on the tape. Boykin, Brown, White, especially Aiden White. Aiden White, oh my God. Love everything he does. So all those transfers coming in are just depth behind these amazing starters. I like NC State as a team, so let's go look at their matchups. Before I do, I apologize. Let's go look at their stats real quick. Once again, losing both quarterbacks, doesn't matter. You're going to bring in McCall. Grayson McCall's done this before. Running backs. Once all these guys hit the portal, Kendrick Raphael's still here, but they didn't even believe in him. They believed in him so little that they started giving the ball to Concepcion, the wide receiver, more often. Like, they started giving – he got in the rotation. 41 carries? It's freaking nuts. They're treating him like Debo Samuel. Delbert Mims jumps in the portal. Michael Allen jumps in the portal. Jordan Houston jumps in the portal. So you go and lose these 3 running backs down here where they realize, man, we're getting 50 carries in a whole season. They don't even believe in us. Bro, we don't believe in you because you're averaging 2 and 3 yards a carry. Keep giving it to the wide receiver who came in and averaged almost 8 yards a carry for 300 rushing yards. Oh, your team's leading rusher is your quarterback, who's not all that fast. This whole scheme was trash. This running back room is trash. Jordan Waters fixing it. Hollywood Smothers fixing it. Wide receivers, you're good. Dakari Collins need to get in the rotation better. I was disappointed in Bradley Rosner's output last year. He came over from Rice. This is a guy that had 10 touchdowns. This is a guy that was 6'5" and a mismatch nightmare and did not get it done. Bradley Rosner, I think he was dealing with an injury when he first got there. He got into camp really late. I think he showed up in August. I'm not exaggerating. He hit the transfer portal and showed up in August. He should have just stayed at Rice and played with JT Daniels. But people are chasing money. They're not chasing playing time. They're not chasing production. They're not chasing an opportunity to get on TV and be seen by scouts. They're chasing the short bag. They're chasing money. You hope you got paid and then got your 18 receptions and we never see you ever again. You went from getting 80 receptions and 10 touchdowns, 50 receptions and 10 touchdowns to this shit. 18, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Never again. You ruined your chances to make it in the NFL. You ruined your chances to get anything on tape because you wanted to go sit the bench and be the 4th best wide receiver at NC State. Just poor decision-making, poor handling, poor advice. Should have reached out to me. Now, on defense, they are losing the best defender in the entire country. Peyton Wilson, my number 1 linebacker in the NFL draft, the number 1 linebacker at the NFL Combine, the defensive player of the year. Everything about Peyton Wilson is him. He's great. I don't know how you replace that individually, but I can tell you right now, like I just told you, Brown and Boykin, these 2 dudes are studs, okay? Couple of interceptions, some passes deflected, make a ton of tackles, studs, but the guy on tape that pops is Aiden White. Those 10 pass deflected is not an accident. He's always breaking on the ball. He's always making plays. I like Aiden White a lot. I think he's an NFL, caliber guy. And then when I said secondary, the guys I believe in, Red Hibbler, they say he's a backup. I don't give a shit if he's a backup. 6.5 sacks, bro. Backup, 6.5 sacks, more than the 5.5 the starter had. I like Van, and I like these guys. So I like NC State's personnel. I like what they're doing, and I love their schedule. So let's talk about it. First game of the season, Western Carolina. They're going to beat Western Carolina. Shout out to the Catamounts. They just lost their offensive coordinator. He just went to Pitt, so you don't have to worry about that. They lost all their star players. Shout out to Desmond Reed and a couple other guys. Going against for Tennessee, I just want to see how they measure up. I don't see them beating Tennessee, but I want to see how it looks metrically, stylistically. I'm going to learn a lot about this team in that game. I think they lose, though. They're going to beat La Tech. They're going to lose to Clemson. So I have them right now 2-2 at this point, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 7-2, 8-2. And when I do this, 8-2 at this point, they need one more win, and it's Georgia Tech and North Carolina. Now, you have a bye week to prepare for this game, and it's at Georgia Tech. I really like Georgia Tech in this game. North Carolina is the team I think they can beat. A rivalry game on the road at North Carolina. They don't have the same caliber of team. They do have a good running back, Omarion Hampton, but they got to win one of these 2 coin flips. If you guys were wondering, Rico, how do you have them beating all these teams? Bro, the only one that's a threat in here is Cal. Be very clear. Duke's going to be down with a new head coach and a new team and a new staff. Stanford's going to be down. It doesn't matter. Syracuse, Wake, and NIU, I don't believe in you. So, can they pull off an upset against Tennessee? I don't know. But they got to win one of these 2 to hit your bet. I like a 50-50 shot on a plus 100 bet. I really do. So that's why I said the over. I hope you guys believe in it. I hope you guys understand my breakdown on what's happening. Now, I might have to come back and make a new video pending on the spring transfer portal. I highly doubt it. I think this is what we're going to go with. I would sit on that and go. I don't think it's going to change. It's not going to go to 9.5. The elite teams are at 9.5. So 8.5's here. Do you like it? I like the plus money. Good luck. Remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.